Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 3 of your sugar detox. Super happy to have a chance here to connect in with you guys. And I just want to say again that you're all doing an amazing job and that I'm so happy again that you chose me to be your detox leader and that everything has, for the most part, been going really well for you. I first want to address that there's a few of you who have been having difficulties with cravings as they relate to your girl cycle. And I just want to tell you that it is really normal for everything to kind of go to hell during that week preceding and even during a little bit the menstrual cycle. So hormones during that week go absolutely haywire, and the fluctuations can be really dramatic, especially if there's an issue of hormone imbalance going on, which is really common. So if your cravings tend to be super out of control, there may be room for you to look into doing some hormonal balancing or to have your hormone levels checked. If you even get a basic female hormone panel, you can get a good gauge of where your estrogen, progesterone, testosterone levels are at, and that can really help you to incorporate certain foods, to eliminate certain things, to incorporate certain herbs, etc., so that you can find more balance, and therefore those cravings would then become a little less ferocious. So keep that in mind. But if you experienced, if you started this program during week 1 or 2 of your, PMS and your menstrual cycle, don't beat yourself up for any slip ups that may have happened with regards to sugar. Now at the end of your cycle, as we go into week 3, you're going to be in a really good place to perhaps give this another shot. So you can always just try the first week again, the second week again, no problem. And usually after your cycle, right at the end, that's when you're going to be that's actually one of the best times to start like a diet challenge, because cravings are going to be probably at their lowest point at that time. So if that happened to you for week 1 or 2, and that probably did for some of you, because there's a lot of people on here and it's bound to have happened, that's just the odds, don't worry about it. Just give it another shot this week. Yeah, all good. If you're having issues with that, I could always work with you if you were interested in terms of a hormone balancing plan. I also have other videos that I've done in the past about that, so you could look for those too. Another one of you mentions some sensitivity to foods that you've kind of reintroduced that you used to eat before the program, and how your body really reacted to it in a way like it never had before. And that also so normal. Healthy eating and making improvements to your health and your diet is truly a blessing and a curse. So many wonderful benefits, obviously: increased energy, effortless weight loss, hormone balance, different things. But even though you would think you might be able to get away with a little more because your body is so strong and healthy, I personally have found it's the opposite. You become more sensitive and more intolerant to those crappy kinds of foods. So if that's going on for you, try to embrace it. You're still going to have, those refined sugars from time to time, no big deal, but just know you might pay a little bit for it. The other question that somebody posted about was having cravings for processed food. So my experience when it comes to processed foods, as I mentioned in the ebook, is that they really truly do, like sugar, have this way of like hijacking your brain and messing with the chemicals in your brain. And they are almost always going to trigger cravings and to in general excite your appetite. So a lot of processed foods have different chemicals in them that kind of make you hungry for more, whether it be because there's lots of salt, or whether it be because there's lots of sugar, or just other chemicals like MSG, these kinds of things. So the best way to be successful in terms of achieving any health weight goal that you may have is honestly cut out the processed foods at least as much as possible. Eat a whole foods diet. Think one ingredient at a time and put together your meals based around that principle. And man, that will help you so immensely in terms of controlling your appetite and helping your body to really get all the minerals and all the vitamins that it requires for you to thrive and feel amazing. One other person on the page just started a Bikram Yoga 30-day challenge. So with regards to that, the main thing is with Bikram Yoga is there's an extreme amount of mineral loss that happens, especially if you're practicing every single day. So there's 3 main minerals that you're going to be losing via your sweat in a Bikram class. They are potassium, sodium, and magnesium. Now, sodium tends to show up in a lot of people's diets, especially if they eat processed foods and they eat out a lot. However, if you're eating a super clean diet like you guys are during this program, adding sea salt to your food is going to be a helpful thing, especially if you're doing a 30-day challenge. I would also suggest in that respect that you add at least a pinch of sea salt or a couple pinches throughout the day to your water. So a little bit extra sea salt, Himalayan mineral salt, will really help with your sodium balance. Potassium is really abundant in fruits and vegetables. So as long as you're eating several cups of these foods at each of your meals, you should be okay on that one as well. Now, magnesium is one of the most common nutritional deficiencies out there. A lot of people don't realize that. So I find a lot of the time with Bikram yogis, magnesium is out of balance and they just keep pounding the coconut waters thinking it's a potassium thing. So I would absolutely recommend that you incorporate into your life some magnesium if you're practicing Bikram yoga a lot, and in general if you're having hormone imbalance or if you're experiencing cravings. Magnesium is amazing for all of these things. It is such an important mineral for a million processes in your body. So I personally, my favorite type of form of magnesium is called magnesium glycinate. You can buy it in either a tablet or a powdered form. If you buy it in a powder, you could just add it to your water as well. You could do like water, magnesium, squeeze of lemon, and sea salt for like an electrolyte drink. Otherwise, you can just take it when it suits you, but I would recommend at least taking 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate every day during a 30-day challenge. So I hope those tips help you, and good luck with that. Enjoy. And the last thing I want to say for this video is that now we're in week 3, which means you can slowly start to reintegrate your healthy gluten-free grains like quinoa and millet and buckwheat and brown rice, etc. If you know that you have like a serious gluten intolerance, I would recommend that you go grain-free because there is a chance of cross-contamination with a lot of these grains. However, if you feel like you're not really gluten intolerant and you're just maybe a little bit sensitive to wheat and gluten, you're probably going to be okay with those gluten-free grains. And again, those higher protein, mineral-rich ones like quinoa, buckwheat, millet, those are really going to be your best allies as far as nutrition goes. So if you would like to start this week incorporating back your grains, be a good idea to do it because then you can really gauge what goes on and then get the help, in sorting out or troubleshooting if needed. So start to add 1/2 cup of your favorite gluten-free grain 1 time per day. I would recommend that you do it either at the lunch meal or even better still, perhaps the dinner meal. So 1/2 cup a day, and that can be in addition to the fruit that you reintroduced in week 2. So each day you can now have 1 serving of the fruit, 1 serving of the grain. And again, just see how your body responds to that extra glucose, that extra carbohydrate, that extra essentially sugar. So the main thing here, guys, is that we all have different levels of carbohydrate intolerance. Going beyond sugar and sugar addiction, you could be eating more carbs on a regular basis than what you really need, and that could be what's causing the sugar cravings too. So that was part of my whole idea with this program was to really sensitize you in terms of your carb tolerance. So if you're still experiencing cravings, it's possible you still may be taking in more carbs than what your body needs. Now, that said, it also goes the other way. You could be experiencing cravings if you're having too little. So again, this has to be assessed on an individual basis. If you're questioning this, if you're wondering about this at all, send me a message and we'll work individually through messaging on Facebook there to sort out what's going on for you. It might take a little trial and error. You may need to experiment with this a little bit more beyond this final week, but definitely start to bring in those grains and just be really mindful of what happens. Combine them, of course, with proteins and fats. So try not to have them by themselves, as that's surely going to trigger cravings for sugar. You want to have them with the other macronutrients. But yeah, start to bring them in there and see what your body says. One last thing, I would say to have them separately from your fruit. So have the fruit at one snack or meal and then the grains at another. All right, so give that a go, guys, and we'll be talking soon on Facebook over the next few days to sort out any problems should they arise. Keep up the amazing work. You are all amazing. I just noticed that, like, when I started this video, it was light, and now it's gone all dark. It's so weird because that was literally, like, in 3 minutes or something. Anyway, all right, have a good evening. Talk to you guys really soon. Bye.